tell us what is Kriya Yoga, please?
Kriya Yoga is most well known today as a tradition of yoga which was founded by a great Mahasiddha whose name was Babaji Nagaraj. About 160 years ago, he taught a teacher named Lahiri Mahasaya in India some techniques which he referred to as Kriya Yoga, and this guru in turn taught several other people, including one of the first great yogis to come to America in 1920, almost 100 years ago, whose name was Paramahansa Yogananda. And Yogananda wrote a very famous book known as The Autobiography of a Yogi. So this is how most people have come to learn about Kriya Yoga, at least through the organization which Yogananda founded in California in 1925. My own teacher was a direct disciple of Babaji since 1946, and I lived with him. His name was Yogi Ramaya. He was a South Indian yogi, and I lived with him from 1969 until 1989, almost 20 years. And so we teach a five-fold path of Kriya Yoga, which includes postures for the physical body, what's called Kriya Kundalini Pranayama, a powerful breathing technique to awaken one's potential power and consciousness for the vital body. Dhyana, which is referred to as the scientific art of mastering the mind, or meditation, and in a series of various techniques and several levels to the mind, and mantra yoga, the use of sound vehicles of consciousness, which are repeated silently, and finally bhakti yoga, the cultivation of aspiration for the Lord, for union. So it is what we call an integral yoga. It is a fusion of two great currents of yoga, that of classical yoga, what we call Coca-Cola yoga, founded by Patanjali 2,000 years ago, which emphasizes practice of meditation, dispassion, detachment, concentration, and what's referred to as kundalini yoga, the awakening of this potential power and consciousness through breathing and through visualization and the chakras, which is nowhere referred to in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And so Babaji fused these two, synthesized these two great currents into his what he calls Kriya Yoga, this five-fold path.
Interesting.
It is a tantric tradition. Tantra refers to that great body of works in India, Tibet, and China, which rather than seek to escape from the world, to go to another world or a heaven, or to cease to be subject to a cycle of reincarnation, Tantra literally means the web, or in Francais, le toile, between the material and the spiritual dimensions of life. And it seeks to transform our human nature rather than to escape it. And for this reason, the Tantrics experiment with many different practices, particularly with the physical body to promote longevity, the breath to awaken our potential power and consciousness, the kundalini, and mantras, visualization. They developed many, many techniques, a high technology, because their goal was not simply to leave, but to transform our human nature. And those who practice the tantric path are known as sadhaks, or ones who follow a sadhana or a discipline. And those who become adept at this are known as siddhas, or ones who have perfected, to some extent, their human nature. And Babaji is part of this tradition, and his Kriya Yoga is part of what's called Siddhanta, the teachings of the siddhas, which is it's a pan-Indian tradition, apart from the predominant tradition of Vedanta, which is the monistic philosophical school, and the bhakti traditions, which emphasize devotion to a personal God.